Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and this is Krishna Adya. And in last session we studied about objects and array in JavaScript. Now let's see what to do in this session. In this session we will cover loops in JavaScript. So now, what is the use of loop, or what do you mean by loop? A loop is used when you want to perform some iterative statements in your code. Like if you want to execute a block of code till the condition becomes false. So at that time the loops are used, and in languages like JavaScript or C, we can use the loops to go through the objects and array. So now let's see the types of loops that are supported by JavaScript. That is for loop, for in loop, for off loop, while loop, and DoWhile loop. So now let's see the syntax of all the loops. The first one is for loop. In for loop, the syntax goes like first keyword goes, that is for, then initialization means for like I equal to 0 or I equal to 1, or we can say any variable which you want to initialize in the loop. Then condition means till which condition you have to go through the loop, and then increment or decrement, and then between the curly braces the code goes. The next is for off loop. The for off loop is used for the array, and its syntax looks like for. Then const means it's a keyword that is constant, and it's written as const element of array, and then the code goes. Then the third is for in loop. The for in loop is used for the object. That is the main difference between for off loop and for in loop. That is, for off loop is used for the array and for in loop is used for the object. And its syntax is for variable in, object name, and then code. And the syntax has also some change, that in for off loop you can see that the off keyword is used, and for in loop you can see that the in variable in keyword is used. And then the fourth one is while loop. The while loop is written as while, then condition, and then the code goes. This was the syntax of all the loops. Now let's see how to use these loops in our code. Over here, let's start with the for loop, and I am saving the file as for loop.html. Now let's give the title as for loop, and then I need a button over here, so that the button will be clicked, our function of the JavaScript will be called, and the for loop will be executed. So now first let's give the text over here that will be appeared when the output will be generated, and the click me text will be appeared on the button. So now we need to create the function over here. So for that script tag will be used, as we are creating the function into the JavaScript. Now the function keyword will be used to create the function, and then the name of the function. I have given the name of the function as for s. Now what we need to do in this function, that we need to create the for loop. So for that the for keyword will be used, and I need to iterate the variable over here. So for that I will be declaring the variable, and then as per the syntax that we seen in our presentation, first the initialization part will be there, so I will be 0. Then the condition, let's say that let's give the condition as I is less than 5, and then I need to do is the increment decrement part. So now what these loops do, the first of all, when the this file will be executed, the value of I will be 1, and when the loop then the condition will be checked, that I is less than 5 means 1 is less than 5, yes, it will becomes true, and then the loop will be executed. When the loop is executed, it comes over here into the increment decrement part. The I will be incremented by 1, and then the value of I will be 2. Now is 2 is less than 5? Yes, it is, and again the loop will be executed. By this way the for loop is executed, and it is executed till the value of I becomes 5 over here in this condition, because we have given the condition as I is less than 5, that is when the value of I will be 5, the 5 will be not less than 5, so the condition will be false, the loop will be break, and the control will be out of the loop. So now what to do in this loop? I want to print the value of I, so for that the text variable will be used, and let's give the blank space over here, because without it the first output will be written as undefined, as it will contain no value. So let's give as text is equal to text plus. We need to concat the text variable over here, because if we don't write as text plus, then it will not concat it with the text variable, and because of that it will override the value. So only the last statement of the loop will be executed, that will be I is equal to 4. All the result will be not printed. Now I need to print some static text over here, that is I is equal to then the value of I, and let's give the break line over here, because so that when the loop will be executed, our output will be in the next line. Now what we need to do is I want to assign the text, that is the output, to the HTML. So for that we know that p tag is used, and let's give the ID as para. Now what we need to do is I want to assign the JavaScript variables value to the paragraph tag, that is of HTML. So for that document.getElement by ID will be used. Then the ID over here, that is para, and then inner HTML, as we are assigning the value of JavaScript to the paragraph tag. And then what we need to assign this, that is text. Now the last task, that is to assign the function name over here. So by this way the for loop code looks like in JavaScript. Now let's test this code, that it works properly as our desired output or not. So for that we need to run the file, and our file name is forloop.html. The button has appeared, so now let's click it. We have got the perfect output over here, that is I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, I is equal to 3, and I is equal to 4. So by this way the for loop works. Now what is our next task? Our next task is to execute the for in loop and for off loop. Now first let's execute the for off loop. What for off loop does? The for off loop is used for the array. So now let's see that how it works. So first save the file as foroff.html. Now I will do the same task, that first we need to create the array over here, and before that let's give the title, that is for off loop. Now what I need to do is first of all we will create the array over here, and to create the array in JavaScript we have studied in our last session that first the name of the variable is declared. Let's give as person, then the is equal to variable is equal to is used, and then the value is between the square brackets, and to declare the object we uses the curly braces, and in array we have to just assign the value over here. So first let's assign the value, that is the name of the person, let's give as ABC. Then let's give the country as let's give as India, and then let's give the age over here, that will be 25. So by this way you can create the person array. And now what we need to do is we need to do the for off loop. What the for off loop will do? For off loop will traverse the variable person, means the person array over here, and it will traverse with the all three values that we have assigned in the array. So before to assign we need a variable, so let's declare a variable, let's say as I. Now for of loop, so for the syntax of it as for, then the let's see as variable that is I, and is for of loop, so of will be executed, and then what we the name of the array, what we have given the name of the array, that is the person over here. So let's give as I of person, and then let's print it. So for that let's see as document dot write, that is to print some text into the JavaScript we use document dot write, and let's print as x. Our variable is I. So by this way for of loops works, that it will be iterate to our array, and by this way the code looks of for of. Let's see that this works properly or not. So let's run our file. Our file is forof.html. Over here we have get ABC, India and 25. Let's give the value into the next line so you can get the proper idea. So for that so ABC, India and 25, that we have given the ABC, that is the name of the person, India, that is the country of the person, and the age, that is 25 of the person. So by this way you can do the for of loop that is used for the iteration of the array, and the same way this looks like for in loop, but the difference is the with in will be used over here, and instead of array the object is used. So let's see that how the for in loops work. Let's save the file as for in.html. Then let's create the HTML file. Now let's give the text over here, that is for in loop. Now we will do the same task as we done in the for of loop. So for that we have created the array in for of loop, and in the for in loop we need to create the object. So first of all let's create the object, and we know that how to create the object, that we have already studied in the last session. We need the variable over here. Let's assign the same variable that we done into the array. Then the curly braces will come, and in array square braces will come. And as we have assigned the only values into the array, but in object we need to assign the name of the name and then the value. So it will be name value pair, and it will be separated by colon. So now let's see how to give the name value pairs into the object. So for that let's save as name, and its name will be ABC, that the same we have given in our array. Then let's give the country, and the country will be, let's say, as India, that we have given into the array, and the same age will be given over here, that is 25. Now as we know that for in loop will be used for the object, and as per our syntax that we have seen into our presentation, the for keyword will be used, then the name of the variable. So first let's declare it. Let's declare as I, then I, then it's as it's for in loop, and we say in our syntax that in variable in will be used, in keyword will be used, and then the name of the object that we have created. Now we will print the object. So for that document.write will be used, and let's give as variable, that is I. So by this way for in loops look like. Now let's run it to see that this works or not. Name, country and age. So what have printed over here, that is name, country and age. the for in loop is used to iterate over the object, and not the value is printed, the name of the value is printed over here. And let's give the break tag over here, so you get the perfect idea what is the difference between for in and for of loop. Name, country and age. The name of the value which we have assigned into our object is placed into the for in loop. So by this way the for in loops works. Our next loop is the while loop, and first let's save the file as while.html. Then let's give the title as while loop. We will do the same thing as that we have done in the for loop, that is first create the button, and let's give the text as click me, and when the button will be clicked we will call the JavaScript function that will execute our while loop. So to create the JavaScript function, the script tags are used, and then the function, that is the keyword, the name of the function let's give as whiles, and then we need the variable, let's give as I is equal to 1. Then as we know we need to print the text, so text variable will be used, and let's initialize at blank space. Then we need to create the while loop. What the while loop will do, it will be executed till I is less than 5, and then we need to give the increment decrement, that will let's give as I plus plus, and then we need to place the text. The static text that I want to place over here, and then the value of I, and then the break line, so it will break the line in each output, and then I plus plus. What if the first I plus plus will come and then the text will come? It will print the each next value, it will not give the perfect output that we want. And then we know that we need to give it into the para tag, so let's create the para tag, and let's give the id to it as para. Next we know that we need to write the document.getElement by id to assign the value of JavaScript to the HTML, and then the id, and then we know that inner HTML is used, and the text we need to place. And the next and the last is to give the function name over here, so when the button will be clicked the whiles function will be executed. So by this way the while loop works. Let's see that we get the appropriate output or not. So I is equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, and I is equal to 4. It has worked perfectly. And now let's switch to our last loop, that is DoWhile loop. And let's save the file as DoWhile.html. Then let's give the title as DoWhile loop. We know that we need to create a button. Give the text as click me. We need to call the function, so on click will be used, and then let's create the function. The do while loop will be same as while loop, but one difference will be there. If the condition will becomes false in the while loop, then the loop will not be executed, and if the condition becomes false in do while loop, then also it will be executed one time. So let's see that how it works. So first we need the variable I over here and text over here that we know, and first the do tag will be there. Then what we need to do is we need to print the text over here, that is text is equal to text, then the static message, then the value of I, and then the break tag. And let's initialize the I as 1. Now what we need to do is while I is less than 5, the condition will be over here. And then first we need to do is the increment that we forget. So this how the do while loop looks. Then our last task is to assign the function, and one thing that we have forgotten, that is to print this into the paragraph tag. So let's take the paragraph tag and give the id as para, then document.getElement by id that we know, document.getElement by id, and then the id that will be para, and what we need to place is text. So now let's run the DoWhile file and see that this works appropriately or not. Let's reload this and we get the index DoWhile. Let's click it. I is equal to 1, 2, 3 and 4, as I have told that if you don't place the blank space over here, it will give as undefined, and as I have provided the space over here, it have given that I is equal to 1, 2, 3 and 4. So by this way all the loops in the JavaScript, that is for loop, for off loop, for in loop, while loop and do while loop, this all 5 loops works in JavaScript. Thank you for watching my video. If you like it, then please subscribe my channel.